you know of someone that's gotten LASIK eye surgery at one point or another? And how many of those people are happy with the decision they made? Although there are potential risks with LASIK eye surgery, I believe getting LASIK eye surgery for those of you with eye problems is one of the wisest investments one can make in their lifetime. The purpose of my speech is to persuade those of you with eye problems to consider making an investment in getting LASIK eye surgery. This would benefit all of you with glasses, contacts, so that you're not wasting time or money in doctor visits and those glasses and contacts. So first I will cover what LASIK eye surgery is, then I will cover the risks of LASIK eye surgery, and finally I will cover what the benefits are. So what is LASIK eye surgery? According to the Food and Drug Administration's website published in 2007, LASIK stands for laser-assisted in situ keratomyeliosis. The problem is usually found within the cornea, which this is a side view of an eye, and the very front part right here is a clear covering over the eye, and that's the cornea. The problem is usually found right there. Much like a camera works for photography, if light is improper, an image will look distorted. Like when taking pictures, if there's too little or too much light, an image will appear out of focus, and your eye works the same way because the light is reflected in this way, which is then reflected down into one of these nerve endings, and then the message is transported into the brain. The cornea is usually not perfectly shaped, and that causes the images reflected into the eye to be somewhat distorted. LASIK surgery helps correct this by removing tissue in the cornea and hence reshaping it, which improves the focusing power. Usually the patient is given a mild sedative, usually some sort of Valium, as well as some eye drops. Then a flap is cut into the cornea, much like a door is left on hinges, allowing it to be lifted. And then that reveals the middle section, the colored part of the eye, which is called the stroma. As soon as the flap is lifted, the patient's vision becomes blurry and they don't see anything but white light. A laser then vaporizes a portion of the stroma, which that takes about 10 to 20 nanoseconds, so the process is really quick. And then the flap is replaced and left to heal by natural adhesion. Excuse me. According to Howard Gimbel, author of LASIK Complications, Trends and Techniques, written in 2004, after surgery, patients are given goggles to protect the eyes from really bright lights and sun, as well as protective coverings to wear to sleep so that they're not rubbing the eye and obstructing its healing process. They are also given antibiotic and anti-inflammatory eye drops to be taken for the next couple of weeks. What are the risks of LASIK eye surgery? According to Jeffrey Matchett, author of The Art of LASIK, which was written in 1999, dry eyes are a possible permanent change, and that's also why LASIK eye surgery is not recommended for people with naturally dry eyes. Usually this is Oriental types. Their eyes are naturally drier than the average eye, and because your eyes can become more dry after LASIK, it's not recommended. Also, seeing halos or white light spots around sources of light during nighttime are a potential change. Sometimes if you look at a really bright light or even the sun for a long time, you will look at something dark and you'll see white spots, and that happens a lot after getting LASIK eye surgery. If the flap being replaced has a wrinkle, that can also cause your vision to be distorted. And bacteria growth under the flap after it's replaced is also a possibility. Much like after wearing contacts, you can get like a piece of dust in there and that can create an infection. This is the same thing. Also, as you can see here, this is actually supposed to be a red spot right here. And that's a possibility also. When they're doing the LASIK, they usually put a suction cup on your eye so you don't blink during those seconds. And that can pop a couple of the blood vessels in your eye. That's normal. It disappears within a week or two and it naturally heals, but that's also a possibility. So it just doesn't look attractive. Another negative aspect of LASIK eye surgery is how expensive it is. It usually ranges between $1,500 and $2,000 per eye. And insurance doesn't cover it because they consider it to be elective, although recently they've been trying to fight that with insurance just because contacts can be considered elective. So what are the benefits of LASIK eye surgery? According to Chris Knob, author of Refractive Eye Surgery, written in 2006, a study was done for reducing the need for glasses and contacts in military personnel. Usually when they do studies with LASIK, military personnel are the prime subjects to get LASIK, just because when you're going into battle, you can't mess with cleaning your glasses or getting a piece of debris under your contacts. And in this particular study, 86% achieved perfect 20/20 vision, 98% achieved 20/40 vision, which is good enough to drive without glasses. According to Ernest Cornmel, author of LASIK, A Guide to Laser Vision Correction, written in 2006, a study was published in the Archives of Ophthalmology, written in October 2006, performed by the Oregon Health and Science University. 32,000 armed forces members received LASIK, and proved LASIK has actually been proven to be safer than contact lenses when the study was done over a long-term period. In 1 out of every 2,000 contact lens wearers have a risk of getting some kind of debris under their eye, and that can lead to vision loss, whereas only 1 in 10,000 LASIK patients have a chance of eyesight-threatening infections. Personally, I've never had LASIK. I should probably go get it because I probably need to get glasses. But I've known about 6 people who've gotten LASIK eye surgery. Each one of them said it was the best decision they've ever made in their life. They're very happy with the investment, and I asked them if they would do it again, and every one of them said they would. Since I've had your time, I've gone over what LASIK eye surgery is, what the risks are, and what the benefits are. As I mentioned before, everyone I know who's had LASIK has been extremely with their decision to go through with the investment. Hopefully this has helped you all to see a little more clearly as well. And the risk will always be there. As with all things in life, risk will always be an issue. But we as human beings need to evaluate the risk and determine for ourselves if we should take it. Thank you.